Pro tip, if you're going to try and do a standing setup, don't do leg day at the gym. What's good everyone on YouTube? It's me again, back with another video, and it's been a while since I've last done a shoe review. And the main reason for that is, to be honest, I haven't really been picking up as many shoes as I used to. And also the fact that, I'll be honest, I do look at the analytics every now and then, and anytime I've done like Nike shoes, they don't really do much. And I largely attribute this to the fact that a lot bigger YouTubers are covering Nike shoes. But I have noticed this channel has sort of held its own when it comes to more obscure sneakers, so I thought, let's lean into that a little harder. And what better brand to do this with than none other than Mizuno.
Who?
And for this particular shoe, even just the regular model without the collaboration, I found maybe 1-2 videos on YouTube at the moment that explain anything about this shoe. It was a bit difficult for me to find sizing information, so I plunged into the deep end for you guys, and we are going to touch on this very, very wavy shoe today. So without further ado, today I'll be talking to you about the Wave Prophecy LS collaboration with Randomevent in the baseball bottom of the 9th colorway, some baseball thing. So this collaboration came in a pretty standard looking Mizuno box. I did see that if you were like one of the first few people to order, you got a few extra goodies, including a special box. But considering the shoe came out in 2022 and I bought it on sale this year, I probably had no chance of getting the special box. And on the inside, we have pretty standard wrapping paper with pretty standard packing paper as well. So not much going on there. And if we look at the label, it reads Wave Prophecy LS RDET, which I think is just shortened for Randomevent. So the retail price on these. The retail price on Wave Prophecy LS are actually pretty high. I've seen them go for as high as like over 400 Australian dollars. I think that's pretty ridiculous. I managed to pick these up on sale while I was over in China recently for a price closer to, I think, like 230, 250 Australian dollars. I'll find the exact figure and put the conversion here. And for 250 or like sub $300, I think it's a lot more reasonable. But their regular retail price for the Wave Prophecy has always been kind of absurd. But enough about that. With the box out of the way, let's get into the shoes. And here it is, the Wave Prophecy LS Randomevent in the bottom of the 9th green-brown color. So I've been saying bottom of the 9th this whole time, and the whole theming around this was some sort of baseball terminology about like the final stand or like the final kind of innings. I don't play baseball. I'm sure someone out there does know exactly that term. Disregarding the theme for the moment, just looking at the shoe itself, it's a predominantly black-based shoe with accents of green and a little bit of brown. So the Wave Prophecy LS is just a re-edition of one of their legacy runners, the Wave Prophecy 8. I believe currently they're on like the Wave Prophecy 14 or something like that. So they basically just pulled like an old runner, kind of like maybe like an old Air Max, and reintroduced it as a lifestyle model for lifestyle collaborations to happen as well. So the upper is built pretty standard in terms of like a, I guess, retro-esque running shoe with meshes, suede overlays, some synthetic overlays to kind of give it a visual pop, mostly blacks, a bit of silver. And one little fun addition is that they've added quite a bit of 3M on the side panel as well as on the entire tongue underneath the mesh. So when you hit the shoe with flash, you get a nice little pop to it. Then moving to the back, we have a pretty chunky heel counter on the outside of the shoe. Then we've also got Randomevent printed on both sides of the shoe. Then taking a look at the insole, we've got a graphic that continues the baseball theme with the sort of score sheet, I assume, and the phrase, it's bottom of the 9th, as well as Mizuno and Randomevent co-branding. But while the up is perfectly adequate, the main reason people would be even interested in this shoe is the midsole. So the midsole, as you can tell, is very wavy and full of holes, and this is supposed to be a very shock absorbent running shoe. Now I did read somewhere that this was made as almost like a direct response to when Nike Shox was a big thing. Apparently they arrived like 5 years late to the party, but this wavy sole is very unique and it is a very distinct look, which I hear is a very big thing in Brazil. if anyone's watching from Brazil, let me know if this shoe is actually still a thing that's popular. Then moving to the outsole, we've got some of the exposed plastic in green and quite a bit of rubber covering most of the outsole, so I'm assuming durability will be fairly okay on this shoe. So that covers the main features of this particular shoe. In terms of sizing has been a bit of a nightmare with this, and I had to really kind of dig deep to find any sort of information. From the very few accounts I read, people were recommending either to go up half a size to maybe even a full size. So I risked it and went a full size up from what I normally wear to a US 10.5. And I'm surprised to say that the shoe actually fits pretty damn well at a full size up. So for what I can recommend, definitely go up at least a half size. And depending on your use case, you might even want to go up a full size. So I'm typically a US 9.5 in most of my sneakers. I bought these in a US 10.5 and they fit me fine. Now in terms of comfort, you've got a pretty standard upper. Yes, there's mesh that's quite breathable and the upper itself is flexible enough, but nothing to write home about. However, the midsole is somewhat interesting. You definitely feel quite high off the ground and ground feel is kind of non-existent given the whole gaps between everything. But I did find, despite the sort of hard plastic used for the wavy sole, it still compresses fairly well. Though I do think it compresses kind of in a very sectioned kind of feeling. So you will feel the back section, then the mid section, then the next section sort of compressed together, as opposed to one uniform kind of feeling, which is different. I wouldn't say it's uncomfortable, but it is something you'll notice when you put these shoes on feet. But overall, I would say this is a pretty comfortable shoe, and for the sake of just casual wear, I'm sure it'll be just fine. I can't really speak for actually running in this shoe, but they brought it back as a lifestyle model, and I don't think they want people running in this shoe anyway. Now we get into the part of the video where I talk about my opinions of this shoe. And to be honest, I've seen the Wave Prophecy in different iterations many times before, and I think the design was just a bit too wild, or at least I needed to warm up to the design. But when I saw this colorway, I actually thought the colorway worked really nicely. Especially here in Australia, Mizuno is just a brand that is on no one's radar. It's surprisingly prevalent in terms of its store presence in China, but I don't really see people wearing it there either, which is probably why, despite the fact this is a 2022 release, they still had many sizes for a pretty big discount. So I figured, why not give it a shot and bring it back to Australia to guarantee no one will have this shoe. Because you know I'm all about that life of just wearing shoes that just so many people don't know about. It's like, I'm just so above it all. But in all honesty, like, my praise for this shoe does diminish quite a bit if I were to think about it in terms of its real retail price. Because the Mizuno Wave Prophecy has notoriously been a very expensive shoe. Always upwards of like 350 to 400 Australian dollars, which I think is just way too much. That's just my opinion. Apparently the tech was really hard to develop, and I'm sure getting a wavy sole like this isn't easy. But if I had to make a recommendation to the execs at Mizuno, because I'm sure they're listening to me, if they could somehow bring the shoe price down to maybe like $300 to $250 as the retail price, I think that would give enough people the chance to try this shoe. But as it stands right now, if you can find this shoe, or if you've got friends in China who can order it, if you can find this shoe for around $250, I'd definitely give it a shot if it's something you're interested in. But anything more than that, and I can't really recommend it wholeheartedly. And with that, we've come to the end of another video. As you can probably tell, a bit rusty with the whole sneaker review. It's been a while, but hope you enjoyed the video. And please let me know what you guys think of the Mizuno Wave Prophecy LS Randomevent it's the bottom of the 9th colorway. And if Mizuno is something that you're interested in, let me know what Mizuno models do you guys own, and what would you recommend? Time for the on feet, and I'll catch you guys in another video. Damn, I really am rusty.